What if this little glowing screen suddenly stopped working forever? What if one day every connection in the world just disappeared? No more Instagram likes, no more Google searches, no more online videos, including this one. But that's not the real danger. The real danger is that the internet is the backbone of our entire world, the engine that makes modern life function smoothly. Today, we're going to explore a terrifying and realistic scenario. What would happen if the world's internet shut down completely, everywhere, all at once? And not for a few seconds, not even for hours, but for days, weeks, or even longer. Part 1. What is the internet really? Before we imagine losing the internet, let's understand what it actually is. Most of us think of the internet as apps, social media, videos, messages, emails. But in reality, it's a massive, invisible infrastructure. Cables deep under the ocean, satellites in space, servers humming in warehouses, and millions of networks connected together. It's like a digital nervous system linking every part of our world. And today, that digital nervous system controls almost everything we rely on, from banking to healthcare, from transportation to agriculture, from the food on our plates to the fuel in our cars. Without it, modern life as we know it would change forever. Part 1. The first hour. Silence and confusion. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. You reach for your phone and your internet icon has disappeared. No signal, no Wi-Fi, nothing. You try again, still nothing. At first, you might think, oh, it's just my phone. But then you see it. Your friends texting you frantically, all saying the same thing. Can you go online? Except no one can. Phones, laptops, watches, all dark. No notifications, no alerts, just silence. And within minutes, confusion begins. Communication breaks down. Our phones are now our lifelines. We use them to message, call, share locations, post updates, even navigate. Suddenly, all those tools vanish. No WhatsApp, no Facebook, no email, no video calls. People start sending voice notes because maybe voice still works, but even that depends on data. So soon, everyone is trying to call, overloaded networks, and still nothing. The first feeling most people would have is isolation. Banks and money system collapse. Now imagine going to pay for something. You tap your card and it doesn't go through. Your bank app? Offline. Your account? Inaccessible. Most of the world's money doesn't even exist physically anymore. It lives digitally. And without the internet, banks cannot communicate, authorize transactions, or verify accounts. ATMs stop working, card machines freeze. People would rush to withdraw cash, but eventually even that runs out. And just like that, our financial system, the heart of the global economy, stops beating. Transportation grinds to a halt. You think airports are busy now? Wait until flight boards can't update, navigation systems fail, and air traffic control loses real-time connection. Trains, buses, and shipping systems would start to malfunction. Traffic lights might stop communicating, causing gridlocks and chaos on the roads. GPS systems would become unreliable. People would be stranded. Within an hour, travel and logistics, the veins of our global economy, would begin collapsing. Part 3. The first 24 hours. Real chaos. As the hours pass, the situation gets worse. Hospitals and healthcare systems. Hospitals rely on digital networks for patient records, scans, test results, even remote monitoring of vital equipment. In a major hospital, dozens of machines talk to each other across the network. Without that digital communication, doctors would lose access to patient histories, lab results would delay indefinitely, some life-saving treatments would be put on hold. Nurses and doctors would switch to pen and paper, but that slows everything down drastically. In emergency rooms, time matters. And without real-time digital systems, lives would be at risk. Supply chains, the backbone of everything. From the food in stores to the fuel at gas stations, supply chains are managed by sophisticated digital systems. Codes track shipments, digital orders keep shelves stocked, drivers rely on online routing. Now imagine all of that frozen. Grocery stores would soon run empty, fuel deliveries would slow, distribution centers would not know where trucks are or where they need to go. Within 24 hours, panic buying would begin. People would rush to stockpile what little is left. Chaos would spread faster than any virus. News and information void. With no internet, news stops updating. TV and radio might still work, but accurate, real-time information would be near impossible to share widely. Rumors would spread, misinformation would flourish, fear would rise. People need information to feel safe. Without it, panic becomes the default. Part 4. A week without the internet. Now imagine 7 days, one full week with no internet at all. This is where we move from disruption into deep societal breakdown. Power grids under strain. You might think electricity would keep working without the internet, but in many places, it won't. Power grids use digital systems to balance demand and supply in real time. Without online coordination, power stations cannot optimize distribution, blackouts could spread, local outages might become long-term. In a world running on digital controls, even electricity becomes fragile. Emergency services overwhelmed. Police, fire, medical responders all depend on digital systems for dispatch, tracking, and communication. Now, with phone lines down and data networks absent, response times could slow dramatically. People would be calling from landlines if they still exist, or no phone at all. Emergencies would become harder to manage. Chaos in the streets would escalate. Economic collapse accelerates. Stock markets around the world depend on real-time data feeds. Brokers trade using algorithms, banks verify instantly, contracts execute automatically. Without the internet, markets would freeze, trades would fail, confidence in the financial system would evaporate, money markets would crumble, businesses would fail, jobs would disappear fast. And that's just the economic side. The human toll would be even deeper. Part 5. Long-term effects. Weeks, months, years. If the internet stays down for weeks or months or forever, human civilization as we know it would change forever. 1. Global isolation. Countries would become disconnected from each other. No trade orders, no financial communications, no diplomatic messaging. Borders would become less meaningful, not because of politics, but because digital coordination disappears. International cooperation would grind to a halt. 2. Local communities become essential. With global systems offline, survival would become local. People would start relying on local farmers, local barter systems, person-to-person trade. Digital corporations would no longer exist. Global brands would shrink or vanish. The economy would reinvent itself on local terms. 3. New leadership structures emerge. Without centralized digital systems, communities would need new ways to govern themselves. Instead of remote banking or remote voting, people would meet in person to make decisions. Older systems like councils, committees, and analog record-keeping would come back. Society might become more human, but it would also be harder. Part 6. Could this really happen? People often ask, is it actually possible for the internet to just disappear? The short answer, yes, in certain scenarios. The internet may seem indestructible, but it relies on physical cables, including undersea fiber optics, large data centers, power and routing infrastructure, and human operators. Even a massive solar storm, a coordinated cyber attack, or a global satellite failure could cripple internet infrastructure. It might not be likely, but it is possible. And that's why imagining this doesn't mean we're being dramatic. It means we're thinking realistically. Part 8. How humans could adapt. Now for the hopeful part. No matter how bad things get, humans adapt. That's what we do. In this scenario, communities would organize offline communication networks. Radio systems and analog devices might become invaluable. Local economies would emerge naturally. People would relearn skills that digital systems replaced, like navigation without GPS, memory over search engines, and handwriting over digital documents. Life would be harder, but not impossible. People would unite to rebuild, maybe stronger, maybe more resilient. Conclusion. So what would truly happen if the world's internet shut down? It wouldn't just be an outage, it would be a civilizational earthquake. In the short term, confusion, breakdown of services, panic. In the long term, systemic collapse, reinvention, and adaptation. But the most important insight is this. We take connectivity for granted until it disappears. And when something so crucial becomes invisible, we forget how much we depend on it.
So next time you see that little Wi-Fi icon light up on your screen, remember, it's not just connected, the world depends on it. And without it, life would look very different. If you found this thought experiment interesting, like, subscribe, and comment below. What would you do first if the internet went down?